Welcome. This is the second in a series of webinars for IBM SPSS software customers. Our goal today is to share information with you regarding the licensing of IBM SPSS statistics applications. Now, much of this information will be also relevant to customers with IBM SPSS Modeler, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to just focus in on the SPSS statistics application today. Before we get started, just here's a link for you to take advantage of using. It is our Get Help page. The Get Help page is a great resource for all things having to do with SPSS applications. Taking us through to that Get Help page, you'll see, for example, that we have listed our webinar information here. You can always visit this link if you'd like more details about when upcoming webinars will be available. The bulk of our presentation today will focus in on this area, the SPSS Statistics and Modeler area of the Get Help page. But first, let's quickly review the page, which is divided into segments based on the type of help required. The student area will provide you with information about your student version of SPSS Statistics. Here you can click a link to find your vendors, and that will take you through to that listing information. And you can also post a question in the student forum using this link. That will take you directly to this user community. Note that questions are answered not only by community members, but also on occasion by IBM SPSS statistics analysts as well. So you can get help from those resources there. The trial area has to do with statistics and modeler trials. You'll find FAQs here divided into two sections, FAQ for IBM statistics and FAQ for IBM SPSS modeler trial versions. You will also see here another forum link that takes you specifically to the trial forum for the SPSS trial application. And finally, here you will see information about the IBM SPSS Statistics subscription offering. This is our latest offering. The About section does introduce that offering to you, provides you with additional details as well as pricing information, and will allow you to start a free trial of that offering if you'd like to take advantage of that. The Download section here will allow you to sign in with your IBM ID to access downloads in My Products and Services. And the support link will allow you to open a service request to the SPSS Statistics subscription team, who can help you with any issues you're having during the process of using that SPSS Statistics subscription new offering. Taking a look now, as I mentioned, we'll be focusing in on the SPSS Statistics and Modeler section here. Clicking this link takes you down on this page to the IBM SPSS Statistics and SPSS Modeler area. We have several pieces of information here, several areas that you can look at. There's downloads, which we've discussed already, licensing, and support. Those are all covered in various webinars, but today we're going to focus in on the licensing area. Much of this information, again, will be relevant to customers who have Modeler as well. We'll be spending most of our time today within the License Key Center. However, before we get into that, let's take a look quickly at our other licensing resources. So clicking this DW Answers Forum licensing link, again, will take you through to our community. This tag for SPSS licensing is used for license-related questions, regardless of the product, statistics, modeler, AMIS, Sentinel License Manager, etc. This link here, Get the License Manager for Enterprise IT Administrators. This is where you can go if you need to download a license manager. A license manager is necessary if you will be using a concurrent code. We'll talk a little bit more about those code options going forward. But that license manager must be installed to a server or other machine that all clients will be able to access at all times. And here are those downloads as well for your Mac, your Linux, and your Windows installations. And we are going to spend time here in the License Key Center. So once you've downloaded and installed your IBM SPSS software, you will need an authorization code or license key to complete the licensing process. In order to obtain that information, you'll need to visit the License Key Center. And this is where you will go to manage your authorization codes. This is the online procurement and management service that provides you with access to your keys. If this is your first visit to the License Key Center, you should have received a link which will allow you to set your initial password within the IBM SPSS statistics, within the License Key Center. This will note the login ID, which you've already created, which is typically going to be your email address. So that is a quick look at the welcome letter that you will receive once you have first gone to the License Key Center. If you are a returning visitor but cannot remember your password, you can use the Forgot Your Password link to reset your account. You will need to provide your email address. And if you're just registering for a new account, please use the Don't Have a Password link. This will take you to the Join Customer Account site where you will need to fill out the requested information. So first name, last name, email address, including your specific province, postcode and country. The software site number is something that you're going to need to provide in this Join Customer Account area. You can find that software site number on the IBM Proof of Entitlement Certificate, which IBM issued to you at the time of your order. You will have to contact your contact your company's site primary contact, your site technical contact, or your IBM SPSS sales representatives if you cannot locate that Proof of Entitlement Certificate. The site primary or technical contact will need to approve your request prior to you gaining access to the License Key Center. Clicking here on Need Other Assistance will take you to the SPSS Support User Manual, where you can find information about getting support, as well as a link to the Get SPSS page here. If you already have access, of course, you will just simply put in your email address and password. Note that you will be able to use this checkbox to remember the password until you log out. You'll then click that right there is to remember the password. Click a Login button. And once you're logged in, you will see the products that you are able to create authorization codes for. It's from this page that you will begin to generate or look up your authorization codes. You'll see a list of IBM SPSS purchased projects, which will require authorization codes. So for example, we'll take a look here at the IBM SPSS Statistics Premium. Just a quick note here about the types of authorization codes. You can see here there's a listing for Premium Desktop, all of those different offerings, but also keep in mind that we have different types of authorization codes. Those are authorized, concurrent, and site. An authorized user authorization code is intended to be used to license no more than 2 separate product installations. Authorized user codes are typically issued for individual use and can be applied, for example, to a desktop product installation and a laptop product installation, or a home and work machine, for example. Concurrent authorization code, which is also sometimes referred to as a network license code, is used to license a license manager. As we discussed previously, the license managers downloads are available on the Get Help page as well. The concurrent authorization code allows a license manager to license product installations configured as network clients. And finally, a site authorization code is intended for the use on multiple installations. Site authorization codes are typically issued to organizations that are licensing a large number of product installations to individual machines. Today, for today's presentation, we'll look at the IBM SPSS Statistics Premium offering, and we will walk through the process of creating an authorized use authorization code. Please do also note that authorization codes are specific to product and version, which means you cannot use a code for SPSS Statistics version 23, for example, to license an instance of IBM SPSS Statistics version 22 or 24. So do be aware of that before making your selections. Also, authorization codes are not specific to any operating system. So any product supported by a specific operating system can be licensed using an appropriate authorization code. So for today's session, as I mentioned, oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. I wanted to choose the Statistics Premium Authorized User version 24. And we'll go through the process now to create that code. You can see here that there are two options available. You can either view codes. This is a code which has already been generated, or you can generate a new code. So we're going to go ahead and generate a new code. We have one available, so we can go ahead and choose generate here. You will need to choose the number of activations if there are more than one. Obviously, we've only got one, so we are not presented with that option. We've only got the opportunity to create the one authorization code. So from here, we can add comments about the authorization code we're creating. Maybe we want to put in test machine or Jane's machine, something here. And then we can go ahead and click create authorization code. And here you have the authorization code which you have generated. And this code can then be shared with your authorized user to complete that licensing on their end. Now we can take a look at how to create a unique license code, which is something you can use with a software installation on a specific machine. So this would be used, for example, if there's a proxy server which is not allowing the client software to generate the code automatically, for example. So here we will take a look at this authorized user code. Heading back to my authorization codes. And again, clicking on this premium offering, Statistics Premium, and I'll click View Codes. I'm going to click on this authorization code to choose that. And from here, I will be prompted to put in a locking code. The way that I can find my lock code is through the License Authorization Wizard. So we will pull that up. And this is found in your SPSS application. So you'll start that license authorization wizard. You'll see a license status window is presented to you first. And then from here, you will click next and see the lock code for a specific machine. This is machine specific. And you can take that lock code and bring it back over to the license key center and put that in here. And then once I click activate, I will see a new license string has been created. And this license code can then be applied to that license authorization wizard within your application. Now, just a few notes on this process. Again, the authorization occurs when an authorization code is used to license a specific product installation. All authorization codes are created with a limited number of license authorizations. And when that code is used to license a product installation, the number of licenses available to be created by that code is reduced by 1. The successful use of the license authorization results in the creation of a license code. Again, that license code will look something like this. It's a longer string than your authorization code, and that can be applied to your installation. The license code is, when that license code is used to license a product installation, a unique code is generated that is specific to the product installation and host device where that product is installed. The license code itself, I'm going to pull up a different example of that license code here. That license code is comprised of a license string, which is followed by a #. There's then you'll see the product code in quotations, which is right here. 1200 refers to your SPSS statistics application. If you were creating a code for modeler, for example, the string, the code found here would be your 8400. The version is 240, which pertains to SPSS statistics version 24. And then you'll see that expiration date. And a couple of other notes about license codes. License codes cannot be transferred for use by a different product or product version. So once I've created this license code, it can only be applied to the machine with the lock code I used during the creation. So I cannot transfer that from one product host machine to any other host machine. License codes are locked to specific products using, again, that lock code. That concludes our presentation today on the licensing of your SPSS products. We do thank you for joining us and hope you found this information useful in understanding more about licensing your IBM SPSS application. Again, this is the link to get to our Get Help page, your resource for all things having to do with SPSS, IBM SPSS applications. Thanks again for joining us.